Before Mombasa became a city of traffic jams, apartments, beach resorts, and glowing malls, we survived with slowness. Not laziness. Real slowness. The kind that made people sit outside and talk for hours after sunset. The kind that made ferries feel like part of life. The kind that respected the ocean, the tides, and time itself. My name is Mwajuma, and if you saw Mombasa today, the crowded roads in Nyali, the tuk-tuks, smartphones, beach apartments, container trucks, and endless construction, you would never believe the town I grew up in during the 1970s and early 1980s. Back then, Mombasa moved differently. No rush. No notifications. No express lifestyle. Only heat, sea breeze, and patience. Every morning, I woke up to the sound of crows, distant adhan from old mosques, and radio music floating through Swahili houses with carved wooden doors inside Old Town. Mum prepared chai using a charcoal jiko while coconut oil and cardamom filled the air. Dad worked near Kilindini Harbor. Before sunrise, he wore neatly pressed shirts despite the coastal heat and left home carrying a folded newspaper as he joined other workers heading toward the port. Nobody wore earphones. People greeted each other properly. Even strangers spoke while waiting for buses. The town itself felt smaller then, but warmer. The roads were quieter. The old floating Nyali Bridge still existed during part of my childhood before the modern concrete bridge replaced it in 1980. Crossing toward Nyali felt like leaving the island behind and entering another world entirely. Likoni Ferry was already part of daily life long before modern highways and bypasses. People waited patiently under the hot coastal sun as ferries carried workers, students, traders, and entire families across the channel. And nobody complained much, because waiting was normal. Mombasa in the 1970s still carried strong traces of its old Swahili, Arab, Asian, and colonial history. Old Town felt ancient even back then. Narrow streets, white coral stone buildings, balconies hanging above tiny alleys. The smell of spices, sea salt, and old wood everywhere. Sometimes as children, we walked near Fort Jesus pretending we were explorers discovering hidden treasures from centuries ago. The giant tusks along Moi Avenue looked magical to us. Whenever visitors came to town, they always stopped there to take photographs. At night, the town glowed softly. Not brightly like today. Softly. The famous hotels looked like another world entirely. Voyager Beach Hotel, Reef Hotel, Nyali Beach Hotel, Severn Sea Lodge. Tourists from Germany, Britain, and Italy filled the beaches during holiday seasons while Taarab and rumba music played from hotel lounges near the ocean breeze. Back then, tourism felt alive. The beaches looked endless. Cleaner, quieter, wilder. Coconut trees swayed slowly above white sand while fishermen pushed wooden boats into the Indian Ocean before sunrise. And the smell. Ah, old Mombasa had its own smell. Sea salt in the morning air, fresh matafa near the beach, fried samaki from small kiosks, spices from Marikiti Market, diesel fumes near the port, wet coral walls after rain, roasted cassava sold beside roads. That smell was Mombasa itself. At home, food was simple but rich with flavor. Waliwa Nazi, Maharagwa Yanazi, Viatzi Karai, biryani during celebrations, mahamri in the mornings, fresh seafood when Dad had extra money. Chicken was still special food. And music. Mombasa had rhythm long before DJs and streaming apps arrived. Taarab music floated through weddings and family gatherings. Congolese rumba played inside bars. Swahili poetry and old love songs filled the air during evening radio programs. Real instruments, real singers, real emotion. People dressed carefully too. Kanzu, kofia, wide-collared shirts, bell-bottom trousers, bright dresses, leather sandals. Even poor people tried to remain neat. Respect mattered. Life itself required patience. If you wanted to send news, you wrote letters. If you wanted photographs, you waited for film to be developed. If your sandals broke, Fundus repaired them. If electricity disappeared, you lit lanterns and continued talking outside. Nothing happened instantly. And maybe that is why people appreciated moments more. Neighbors shared food freely. Children played barefoot until Maghrib. Entire neighborhoods contributed during harambis when families needed school fees, hospital money, or funeral support. Nobody survived alone. But do not misunderstand me. The 1970s and 1980s were not easy. Jobs were limited. Many people struggled silently. The coastal heat made hard work exhausting. Opportunities often depended on connections and class. Still, community softened life. People knew each other. Mombasa breathed through people, not technology. Then slowly the town began changing. The modern Nyali Bridge replaced the old floating bridge in 1980. More vehicles arrived. Container business expanded through the port. Tourism grew bigger. New estates spread toward Bamburi and Nyali. Later came malls, apartments, smartphones, fast internet, and endless traffic. Today, Mombasa barely sleeps. Tuk-tuks scream through crowded roads. Container trucks shake highways. Beachfront apartments rise where old houses once stood. Young people stare at phones while sitting together silently. Even the beaches feel faster now. And when I look at modern Mombasa today, beautiful, crowded, digital, impatient, part of me still misses the old town. Not because life was easier, but because people had more time for each other. And somehow, the ocean breeze itself felt slower too.